Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be breaking down the brand new My Hero Academia All's Justice trailer. That's right, we finally got official confirmation that we are getting technically My Hero 1 Justice 3, but it's actually known as All's Justice. You know what I'm saying? It's like the third game in the One's Justice franchise, or I guess now the All's Justice franchise, which is super sick because you guys know how much I love that game. My Hero 1 Justice 2, and also My Hero 1 Justice. And you guys also know how much I just love My Academia games, so it's super cool to finally get like the third installment in this game series, which is super cool, and I can't wait for this game. And the reason why I'm doing a trailer breakdown rather than like a trailer reaction video is because I've already watched the trailer like I don't even know how many times because I'm just that excited for this game. So that's why I'm going to be doing a trailer breakdown instead, kind of just talking about some things that I noticed, some trivia, just stuff like that, you know, like just basically breaking down the trailer as much as I can because even though it's kind of a smaller trailer, like they even said it was just like a small glimpse into like what they're doing with this game, they still showed off like a lot of new things. So I just wanted to talk about everything that I noticed. So it should be a lot of fun. Let's just dive in. And the reason why we have the Bandai Namco Summer Showcase open instead of like the actual trailer video is because, well, for one, the trailer was shown off during the Summer Showcase, but after they revealed the trailer, they talked about the game a little more at the end during the showcase. So that's why I wanted to watch the showcase instead of like the actual trailer itself, because that way we can actually see the trailer, but also see the extra things they included at the end when they were done showing off the trailer. So yeah, we're going to be taking a look at all of it because some stuff was revealed that wasn't in the trailer at the end. So yeah, that's why we're watching the Summer Showcase. So let's just dive in and get started.
This inner flame will pass to the next generation. And that generation will entrust it to the next. This fire will continue to burn into the future.
Okay, so before we even continue, first piece of trivia. This is the first time we have ever seen all members of Class 1A on a game roster, at least when it comes to the global My Academia games. And I know they mentioned like later, like during like that discussion I was mentioning before at the end of the you know, when like they finished up the trailer, they were talking about the game and stuff. They did mention that this is the first time all of Class 1A will be playable on a roster when it comes to the My Academia console games. And that is true, but also to take it a step further, like I said, this is the first time just ever, like at least when it comes to the global My Academia games, they have all been on one playable roster. So in terms of global games, we've got My Hero 1 Justice and My Hero 1 Justice 2. They all weren't playable in those games. Same thing with the mobile games. Well, actually, no, there's another console game, My Hero Ultra Rumble. They're not all playable in that game also. And then when it comes to the mobile games, My Academia The Strongest Hero and My Hero Ultra Impact, they weren't all playable in those games either. So this is the first time we've seen all 20 of them together in a game, which is kind of crazy to think about, but also it just really shows you the scope of how big this game is, which is super cool. And I'm super excited to try all of them out because you guys know how much I love Class 1A. They're like my favorite characters when it comes to not only My Academia, but just anime, period. I think each and every one of them is special in their own way. And just as a group, it's super cool to see them all together finally, which is really neat. Especially my boy Sero here on the right. You guys know how long I've been pushing for that character to be in this game series. So yeah, super hyped to play all 20 of them. I'll talk about each of them when we talk about like their little like their moment in the trailer. Each of them have like a little moment in the trailer. So yeah, but just for right now, though, it's still super cool to see all 20 of them finally in a game, especially this game like series. I don't know if I'm going to call it like the One Justice like series anymore or like the All's Justice series. I guess we'll call it the All's Justice series because it is technically now known as All's Justice, which is super cool to finally see all 20 of them playable. But yeah, let's continue.
Come on now. Everyone's waiting for you. Let's make sure they know we are here.
Okay, so something else that I wanted to talk about before we even continue watching is with this trailer, they show off a lot of cutscenes, which is really good because one of the major complaints when it came to My Hero 1 Justice 2 and My Hero 1 Justice, in their campaigns, it was very slideshow-esque. Like a lot of the cutscenes, or not even cutscenes, because there were a couple of cutscenes, but they were outnumbered by the amount of slideshows you would get. And they're showing off a lot of cutscenes. So I'm really hoping that it's the opposite of My Hero 1 Justice 2 and My Hero 1 Justice, and they listened to what the community was complaining about, at least when it came to the campaigns of those games, which is they want more cutscenes, or I guess we want more cutscenes, instead of like slideshows, if that makes any sense. Like we want more cutscenes. It would be nice if it was all cutscenes, but I think that's kind of a little unrealistic. But I mean, that would be super nice if it was all just cutscenes. But even if it isn't all just cutscenes, at least for me personally, and I think I could speak for like a lot of people on this, especially because I've seen people complaining about like how there are very few cutscenes. It'd be just nice if the cutscenes either were equal to the slideshows, or there were more cutscenes than slideshows. I think that would be super cool. Another thing that I would like to see maybe with this campaign is more boss fights, which I guess maybe I'll touch upon later in the video. Because in My Hero 1 Justice 2, something that they did introduce into the campaign was a boss fight at the end of the campaign where you fought Overhaul in his monster form with Infinite 100% Deku and Eri. And that was super cool, not only because, we were fighting a boss that isn't like a playable character, like it was like an actual like boss, like he was designed to be a boss, but we were also playing like a unique variant of a character that wasn't on the roster, because Infinite 100% Deku was on the roster, but Infinite 100% Deku plus Eri wasn't on the roster. And what made this Deku different than the one on the roster is you had Eri, and she was a unique assist that would heal you during the fight. So it just made that battle probably the most unique campaign battle between the two games. So I'm really hoping we see more of that in this game. And on top of that, they could maybe even take it like one step further. With My Academia The Strongest Hero, in Hero Theater mode, that campaign, they had a lot of cool different things you could do that wasn't just fights. Like they had quick time events and just like certain like little mini games you could do, which made the campaign feel way more lively. So I'm really hoping we see a really big update to the campaign side. And so far with this trailer, again, being majority cutscenes, that look really good, by the way, that gives me hope that they really did work on the campaign a lot more than like the last two, which I'm really hopeful for. Also, another thing to note, you're going to notice a lot of the campaign, or like not the campaign, well, I guess the campaign, but the cutscenes were for one based on Season 7, which that makes me believe that this game is only going to cover the final war arc. And what makes me believe this is, again, one, most of the cutscenes, actually all the cutscenes, are from the final war arc. But two, they released the game to be wishlist on Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam. And I'm pretty sure it just says that you're going to be fighting, like, I don't remember what they said verbatim, but I'm pretty sure it said something like, oh yeah, it said something about like the final battle or something, like the game. I don't want to say it primarily takes place during the final battle, but it's something like on the lines of that, where the way it was worded, it sounds like the campaign will only cover like the final war arc, if that makes any sense. Where most of us assumed that if a My Hero 1 Justice 3 was going to be made, it would cover everything from the last arc that we played through in the last game up into the newest arc, if that makes any sense. So like the last arc that this game series covered was the Overhaul arc. So you got to remember that was the first arc of Season 4. So we also have the rest of Season 4, Season 5, Season 6, and like 2 arcs before the final war arc in Season 7, if that makes any sense. So that's like a lot of story that wasn't made into a campaign for this game series that could potentially not come in this game. Now, I'm not going to 100% be like, okay, yeah, we're not getting that yet. There's still a chance because it is called All's Justice, so I think it'd be cool if they did cover from the Overhaul arc all the way to the Final War arc, or maybe even just the entire story would be cool, considering that it's called All's Justice. I think that would be pretty neat. But it's like, I think it's like it would be realistic if they just only did the Final War arc, primarily because looking at the other One Justice games, One Justice only covered a couple of arcs, and One Justice 2 only covered a couple of arcs as well. Like, I'm pretty sure One Justice only covered the Sports Festival arc, the Hero Killer arc, and the Summer Training Camp arc, and then One Justice 2 covered the Provisional License Exam arc and the Overhaul arc. So there were a couple of arcs that were skipped, with those games as well, like the USJ arc, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they have skipped arcs before, and considering that we've only seen stuff from the Final War arc, and considering that they kind of mentioned like the final battle in like their game descriptions on Xbox, and I'm pretty sure it's the same thing on like Steam and PlayStation. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't checked those descriptions, but I'm almost positive. I don't see why it would be different. I'm assuming, like my theory is it's just only going to cover the Final War arc, and I think while that would kind of stink because I would love to see everything that we didn't get to see, between My Hero 1 Justice 2 and My Academia All Justice, I think that would be really cool. It is still kind of like realistic. I guess it's real, if that's like the best way putting it. Like, or I guess the way I would describe it is I wouldn't be surprised if it only covered the Final War arc. That's a better way of putting it. I mean, I guess it would be just realistic if it only covered the Final War arc, but I guess like the better way of putting it is I wouldn't be surprised if it only covered the Final War arc, if that makes any sense, because again, the other games have skipped over some arcs before as well, like I said, like the USJ arc. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention, again, all these cutscenes are coming from the Final War arc, and a lot of them are like shot for shot, you know what I'm saying, like the cutscenes like almost look identical to like the motions they do in the anime, which I think is super cool, getting to see like the characters in this game's art style kind of just mimic what they did in the anime. I think is really cool. So yeah, with all that out of the way, I was kind of just ranting about the campaign, but like I said, I wanted to share some like trivia and kind of give my thoughts about what's probably going to be happening with this game. So yeah, let's continue. Okay, so before we continue, I want to talk about this part of the trailer because it's actually pretty important, because this is the first time we actually see some gameplay. So we see more cutscenes, which we've already talked about extensively, but gameplay-wise, this is pretty interesting because we could have potentially seen our first like 2 characters that are like confirmed playable on the roster, which would be potentially a new variant of Bakugo, and I'll talk about why I say potentially, and then this is most likely a new variant of Shigaraki, and the reason why I'm more I'm more sold that this is a new variant of Shigaraki because obviously this is like a new attack that we haven't seen before in this game series. Like the other 2 Shigarakis have never done anything like this, but the reason why I'm a little more hesitant to say that this is a new variant of Bakugo is because looking at his kit, it's pretty interesting because what happens is it looks like we have a new attack, so that armor attack is new, but if we continue, this attack isn't new. So that's why I'm not 100% sure if this is a new variant of Bakugo or just Bakugo with an updated moveset, which is why I wanted to talk about this, because it's pretty interesting because, again, that Shigaraki is clearly a new variant because that attack is completely different than any of the other Shigaraki attacks we've seen between the 2 Shigarakis in this game series. But with Bakugo, we've seen this attack before, but this armor attack he does is completely new. Like, that armor attack is completely new. So, yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about this because, again, could be a new Bakugo, but it is also possible that this is just Bakugo with an updated moveset. So, yeah. Also, talking about some costumes here, I didn't even mention this before. So, we see Deku in the cutscene here with, I guess like the best way I can compare it to is in My Hero Ultra Impact, we have Gear Shift Deku. This is also most likely just Gear Shift Deku because, again, this is like right when he's using Gear Shift, and also when he was using Gear Shift in the anime, his eyes had like the lightning effect coming out of it that looked exactly like this, plus when he was using Gear Shift, the costume he was wearing was Costume Zeta, which is the costume he's wearing here. So all of that being said, this is a new costume to the game series. This Gear Shift Deku costume. Again, I don't know if this is it's most likely also a new variant of Deku as well. So not only does he get like a new costume, but also a new variant most likely, because again, later in the trailer we see some gameplay, and I'm pretty sure that the Deku we see is this Deku here. Shigaraki also has a new costume on. It's the costume he wears during his battle in like the coffin in the sky. But he gets like we see like a couple different either Shigaraki variants or Shigaraki like costumes, or like a mix between the two. But so far we've seen, because it's weird because Shigaraki gets so many different outfit changes during this like final battle, especially during the coffin in the sky. So we're just gonna go with I don't even know what to refer to the costume as, but yeah. So Shigaraki is most likely also getting new variants as well, just like Deku is probably most likely getting new variants. But I'm almost positive that this is a new variant of Deku, and I'm almost positive that the Shigaraki he's fighting is I'll even go back. I'm almost positive that this is a new variant of Shigaraki as well. So, yeah. And the only reason why I say that is because we see gameplay later of them fighting. But when it comes to Bakugo, this is not a new costume like when it comes to Macadamia games. Like, we've seen his Strafe Panzer costume in My Hero Ultra Impact and also My Hero Ultra Rumble. But this Shigaraki costume is different than the one we just saw before. The one we saw before is when he has like his like body like covered by like all the fingers and stuff like that, where this is like right before that with like the cape and like the longer hair. And he had like his arm like that. It was basically when he was talking about how like the quirk Doomsday Theory was proven with him, where his body has to take new shapes to match all of his quirks. So I guess we'll refer to this one as like Doomsday Shigaraki. So yeah, this is the I don't think this is the first time we've ever seen Doomsday Shigaraki in like a Macadamia game. I'm pretty sure we've seen him in My Hero Ultra Impact. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, because again, Shigaraki gets so many costume changes in like season 7. It's kind of insane. But yeah, and again, like I said before, most likely a new variant of Shigaraki, and potentially a new variant of Bakugo. So yeah, if we're looking at it like this, Deku is most likely getting a new variant. Shigaraki is most likely getting also maybe 2 new variants, and then Bakugo is maybe getting a new variant. So yeah.
We'll blast through to your main body! Come on, guys!
Todoroki! Because of you, I'm the person I've always wanted to be!
So I just wanted to pause here real quick, not only to talk about Todoroki and Iida, but also that looks so good. Like with like the ice and stuff, this game looks super amazing. Like, it's such a step up from like My Hero 1 Just 2, which I believe came out 5 years ago. Like, such a step up. Also, another thing to talk about, I think this is the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, we've seen blood in this game series. I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've ever seen it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm forgetting, because again, it has been like 5 years, but like, I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've ever seen blood in this game series. Now, when it comes to Todoroki and Iida, while it isn't as like concrete as like Deku and Shigaraki getting like new variants, because we've seen Deku and Shigaraki use like actual like new moves that are like completely different than like the Dekus and Shigarakis we've had in the other games. I'm pretty sure though, like, even though it's not as like concrete as those two getting like new variants, I'm pretty sure we're most likely going to get a new Todoroki variant. I'm more sure about getting a new Todoroki variant compared to a new Bakugo variant. Even though we've seen Bakugo gameplay, that could be, like I said, an updated moveset for Bakugo, where we've only seen one new attack from him that looks like something that like the other Bakugos could have done, and then we saw one of the attacks we've seen before. Where Todoroki, even though we haven't seen any gameplay yet of him, I know we see some later, I'm almost positive we're getting a new variant of Todoroki. Like, if I had a wager, I'm like 99% sure we're getting a new variant for Deku. I'm 99% sure that we're getting 2 new variants of Shigaraki. And then I'm almost positive we're going to get a new variant of Todoroki, and I think we could possibly get a new variant of Bakugo if I had to like order it. You know what I'm saying? Like just based on like what I'm like theorizing. Also, this Todoroki costume, again, could either be him. Like this could be a new variant of Todoroki with this costume on, or it could just be a costume for Todoroki, which is false for Todoroki. This isn't a new costume when it comes to macadamia games. We've seen this before in My Hero Ultra Impact, but this would be a new costume to this game series, which is super cool. And then when it comes to Iida, because we gotta talk about him because he's in this cutscene as well. Iida is wearing his battle damaged like beta costume, so it's his hero costume beta, but it's obviously been like battle damaged because it's been all broken apart because of how fast they've been going. This is not a new costume when it comes to macadamia games. We've seen this before in My Hero Ultra Impact, and when it comes to Iida, I don't think we're gonna get a new variant of Iida. Most likely just an updated moveset. Now, what his like base costume will be, that's up in the air. I would assume costume beta, but we might get like the battle damage version of costume beta, like what he's wearing right here, as like an alternate style, or not alternate style, like a costume that you can equip to him, if that makes any sense. Like this could possibly be one of his costumes that you can use with him. But yeah.
Person I've always wanted to be.
I'm not losing sight of you. We haven't been able to talk about love and romance yet.
So, talking about this part of the trailer, we've got Uraraka and Sue. So, like I said with Iida, okay. Uraraka is kind of like in between where I'd rank Bakugo and like Iida when it comes to potentially getting a new variant of them. Iida, I don't think we're getting a new variant. I think we're just going to get an updated moveset. And with Bakugo, we maybe can get like a new variant of the character. Where Uraraka, I'm kind of like in that like camp where I think we could maybe get a new variant of Uraraka. Nothing in this trailer has shown that she's probably going to get a new variant, but we could maybe get a new variant of her. But like it's kind of like up in the air where it could either go the route of Bakugo maybe getting a new variant, or it could go the route of Iida where she's not going to get a new variant and maybe just like an updated moveset. You know what I'm saying? Like she's like up in the air between like where I place Bakugo and Iida when it comes to characters who are getting like a new variant. But this costume, it's not new to macadamia games. We've seen this before. This is costume beta. We've seen her wear this in My Hero Ultra Impact and My Hero Ultra Rumble. But this is new to the game series, though. Like, this is new to the game series. And then when it comes to Sue, she is wearing a new costume as well to the game series. And also, I believe, to My Academia games, just period. It's her hero costume beta minus the goggles. You could tell it's hero costume beta because of the pattern on her actual hero costume. It's different than the pattern on her hero costume alpha. Sue is definitely not getting a new character variant. Most likely, potentially, maybe not even this. I don't know. She's like one of the characters I feel like is most likely gonna stay the same, like between like the two games. Like I can't really think of too many things that they would update even in her moveset. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if I can't think of anything they would update in her moveset, then that most likely means she's also not getting a character variant. So yeah.
Not losing sight of you. We haven't been able to talk about.
And then with this toga, I'm pretty sure toga is up there with like Todoroki, where I'm almost positive we're getting like a new character variant for her. Again, nothing has been confirmed, but I'm almost positive we're getting a new character variant for her. Just like how like with Todoroki, nothing has been confirmed, but I'm almost positive that like we're getting a new character variant for Todoroki. And then when it comes to the costume she's wearing, she's kind of like fused between like her and like Twice, because like she transforms into Twice, but like she still has like it's kind of like a mix between her and Twice. We've seen that before in My Hero Ultra Impact, only in a Plus Ultra animation. So technically, it's a new costume to the Macadamia games, but it's also not at the same time, if that makes any sense. Like, it's not something you can wear all the time. You can only like wear this like costume in a Plus Ultra animation in that game. But at bare minimum, it's also like new to like the game series as well, which is super nice. But I'm almost positive that we're getting like a new variant for Toga. So yeah.
From now on, this is our story.
Again, when it comes to the blood, I'm almost positive this is the first time we've seen blood in this game series. But yeah, another look at Shigaraki here. So I'm pretty sure the one in My Hero Ultra Impact didn't have like the scarring. So this could technically be like a battle damage version of like the Doomsday Theory costume, because I'm pretty sure we have the Doomsday Theory costume in My Hero Ultra Impact, but not like the scarred version. We could have the scarred version. Now that I think about it, we did just get a climax battle with Shigaraki. Again, Shigaraki's costumes in this final war arc is so hard to keep track of because he changes his costume so many times. But basically, this scarring version of like Doomsday Shigaraki could potentially be new to the My Academia games, but at bare minimum, at least it's new to this game series, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, like, notice how many times Shigaraki changes his costumes throughout this trailer alone. So just something else for you to keep like an eye out for, because he changes his costumes a lot.
He's badly injured.
Okay, something else I want to pause here on. We hear Best Genius talk. That most likely confirms that Best Genius is in the game. I'd be surprised if he wasn't. So I just wanted to mention that as well. Even though we don't see him, that's his voice. So keep that in mind. Best Genius is most likely coming to this game as well, which is super hype.
I've got to defeat him.
That looks so good.
I also can't pretend I didn't see you crying in there!
Shut up!
Okay, we see more gameplay.
I also can't pretend I didn't...
Okay, so like I said, this is most likely a new variant of Deku in this game. I'm just gonna call it Gear Shift Deku because I mean obviously he's using Gear Shift, and also this is the exact appearance he has when he uses Gear Shift in the anime. You know, he's wearing costume Zeta, his hair is up like infinite 100% Deku, and then he's got like the electricity coming out of his eyes. Like, this is most likely a new variant of Deku. And this variant of Deku again appears have the ability to use Gear Shift and also Black Whip, which looks like an updated model from My Hero Ultra Rumble, considering that the two games share like the same art style. This Black Whip looks different than the Black Whip we've seen in My Hero Ultra Rumble, which it looks really nice. And then when it comes to Shigaraki, I believe this is another new variant of Shigaraki. Like I said before, I believe, like, if I had a wager, I'm like 99% sure we're getting two new variants of Shigaraki, which was Doomsday Shigaraki, and then this one, which I don't even know what to refer to this one as, but I'm almost positive that we're getting two new variants of Shigaraki, and this is one of them, because we know he gets different attacks later in the trailer. So this is also a new version of Shigaraki, which is pretty cool. Again, I don't know what to call this version of Shigaraki. I guess like defensive form Shigaraki. But yeah, taking a look at his model though, if you notice, they're actually super like detailed. Like in the anime, what tips off Nana that Shigaraki's still in there is when he changes into like this defensive form, he has the heads of his family members on his hands. They have that in this game. They're super detailed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a very like detailed game. Like even to like the smallest thing. And that's why I wanted to pause and talk about this. Like that's like a nice touch. Like that's super cool. Also, they're fighting on a new stage to this game series, which is the Coffin in the Sky, which is super cool.
Didn't see you crying in there!
Shut up!
Combos look sick.
Insignificant pest! I'm going.
Okay, so again, this is where I can pretty much confirm that this is a new variant of Shigaraki. He has new attacks and stuff like that. You know, a couple of like, I'm assuming these are probably just normal attacks. Maybe they might be quirk specials, but where he's kind of like kicking up Shigaraki, or Shigaraki's kicking up Deku. It also looks like he has like kind of like a decay effect following him. I don't know if that's just part of the stage or if that's him doing that. And then this attack is completely new and probably exclusive to that version of Shigaraki, which makes me believe that this is a new version of Shigaraki. So yeah, looking pretty cool. More cutscenes.
Second gear! Third gear! Top gear! Overdrive!
These cutscenes look sick. And then here's all of Class 1A. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and what I'm going to do is, because it goes by so fast, and because if I pause and unpause the video too quickly, it'll go out of full screen mode, I'm going to slow it down by a good chunk here, so we can kind of take a look at each of the members of Class 1A and kind of talk about them a little more in depth, or at least the ones I haven't talked about yet. All right, Iida. All right, let's talk about Iida now. Here, there we go. I'm probably going to mute that audio because that audio sounds pretty bad when I slow it down all the way. But anyway, so here's Iida in costume beta without the helmet on. Like I said, this is most likely going to be his default appearance, or maybe it won't be his default appearance, because what I would assume is going to be his default appearance is costume beta with the helmet on. But this could be his default appearance. And we've already talked about Iida. I would assume he's most likely going to get an updated moveset. Most likely not a new variant though. So yeah. Sue we've talked about before. This is most likely going to be her default appearance. This is Hero Costume Beta for Sue. Like I said before, the way you can tell the difference between Hero Costume Beta and Hero Costume Alpha is Beta has a different pattern on it compared to Alpha, and on top of that, she has her goggles from her Winter Hero costume. You could tell it's the goggles from the Winter Hero costume because her visor is a lot larger compared to the ones that are on Hero Costume Alpha, which is pretty cool. And like I said before, this is the first time we've ever seen Hero Costume Beta both with and without the goggles on when it comes to any My Academia game, let alone like the All's Justice series. So like this is the first time we're actually seeing this costume, which is pretty cool. Something else to mention about Sue, like I said, she's most likely probably not going to get a new character variant, potentially maybe an updated moveset, but I don't even know what they would update in her moveset. But I can also see her staying the same is what I'm trying to say. But yeah. Mineta, most likely not getting a new character variant. Maybe might get an updated moveset. He's gotten a couple new ultimate moves since the last game. And yeah, that's probably all it's going to be for Mineta. I don't think he's going to get too much changed, considering he was also a new addition in the last game. So yeah, and this is most likely his default appearance. Now, I wonder if this is Hero Costume Alpha or Beta. I'm going to assume Beta. You can't tell if it's Alpha or Beta because the two look very similar. But what makes the costumes different is a little grape stem on the top of his head, but we can't see it, so I don't know if this is Alpha or Beta, but yeah. So Kirishima here is in his unbreakable form. So I don't know if this is going to be part of his moveset or if this is like an appearance, like a costume kind of thing. It's still cool to see Unbreakable finally in this game series. We've seen Unbreakable though in My Hero Ultra Impact before and My Hero Ultra Rumble. Unbreakable was a part of his moveset in Ultra Impact, where Unbreakable was a costume in My Hero Ultra Rumble. So like I said, this is kind of up in the air if this is going to be a part of his kit or just a costume. And then it's up in the air if this is going to be his default appearance or like an appearance you can swap to and stuff like that. Like basically, I don't know if this is going to be his default costume or just another one of his costumes. I'm hoping it's part of his moveset. That would be super sick. But yeah, it looks really good in this game. Like Unbreakable, like the ultimate move, like it looks super cool. And Kirishima is one of those characters I think could probably get an updated moveset, but probably isn't going to get like a new character variant. So yeah. Yaoyorozu, wearing her hero costume Alpha. Again, she's kind of just like Sue, where no, I could see them updating her moveset. I like more than Sue. Like I can see more potential for her to get like an updated moveset compared to like again Sue. I could see them updating her moveset, but she's probably not getting a new character variant if I had to guess. But yeah. Tokoyami, he's probably not getting a new character variant, but they definitely can update his moveset. He's got a new ultimate attack since the last game, like a ton of them. Like I can totally see them updating his moveset. Maybe getting a new character variant, but I'm almost positive that they're probably just going to update his moveset, which is going to be super sick. He's also wearing his hero costume Alpha, so yeah. Kaminari, he could possibly get an updated moveset. I can see them updating his moveset. He's probably not getting a new character variant, and his default appearance is most likely his hero costume Beta. So yeah, and again, you could tell Beta because he has the pointer and shooter with the goggles and the new jacket. So yeah. Aoyama. Okay, so Aoyama was a DLC character in the last My Hero 1 Justice game, My Hero 1 Justice 2. He's not wearing his hero costume. He's wearing his like trench coat kind of like look that he had to trick All For One. So I wonder if this is going to be his default appearance or if his hero costume is going to be his default appearance, which is going to be pretty interesting. Also, this is the first time we've ever seen Aoyama in this costume when it comes to not only this game series, but also just the My Academia games in general, which is super cool. But yeah, he's going to be pretty interesting. He could possibly get an updated moveset, but considering he was a DLC character in the last game, and I don't think he's unlocked too many new moves since that last game, they could also maybe just leave him the same, if that makes any sense. He's most likely not getting like a new character variant. Jiro, I can see them updating her moveset, but she's probably not getting a new character variant, if that makes any sense. And then this is probably going to be her default costume, which is her hero costume, I think Gamma. You can tell it's Gamma because she has the headphones and the speakers on her wrist, but she also has like new face paint. So I'm pretty sure that she is going to have this as her default costume. But yeah. Ashido, okay, so she's probably a character who's going to get a huge overhaul to her moveset. Based on this trailer alone, because she has Acid Man. She didn't have that. This ultimate move didn't exist when My Hero 1 Justice 2 was out, I'm pretty sure. So she could definitely get like a complete overhaul to her moveset. So they're most likely going to update her moveset. I don't think she's going to get a new character variant. And it's going to be super cool because at bare minimum, we know that at least Acid Man is confirmed her ultimate attack because we see it in the trailer, which is super cool. Her default costume is most likely her hero costume, which makes sense. But yeah, that's super cool to see Acid Man. That's really, really cool. Shoji is a new character to this game. He's not new to the My Academia game like series. Like he's been in My Hero Ultra Impact before, but this is the first time we've ever seen him in this game. He is super cool. I've been really excited to see him come to this game series finally. He's probably going to have like a really, really cool moveset, and yeah, I just can't wait. Shoji is a new addition to this game series, and yeah, just super cool. Ojiro is also a new character to this game series. I can't wait to play as him as well. He was playable in other My Academia games. He's playable in My Hero Ultra Impact, and he was playable in My Academia The Strongest Hero when the game was still up and running. But it's still finally cool to see him in this game series. So yeah, I can't wait to play as him as well. Same thing goes with Sero. He's a new character to this game series. Finally, I can't wait to play as him. He's been the character I've been wanting the most. I can't wait to play as Sero. He isn't new when it comes to My Academia games. He's been playable in My Hero Ultra Impact before. So he's not like a brand new character when it comes to the My Academia games, but he is a new character, like a brand new character when it comes to the All's Justice game series, which is super cool. I don't know if this is going to be his default appearance or not. The reason why I say that is because this is his hero costume, yes, but he's missing his helmet. So I don't know if the helmeted version is going to be his default costume or if this is going to be his default costume, like without the helmet. Either way, it's still cool to see him, and I'm almost positive we're going to get him in his helmet, or him in his costume with the helmet on, because we also saw at the beginning when all the Class 1A students were walking up, you could see him with his helmet on in that part of the trailer, so he's most likely going to have his helmet in this game. So yeah. Hagakure is also a new addition to the All's Justice franchise. She's not new when it comes to My Academia games, though. She's playable in My Hero Ultra Impact, but it's still super cool to see her in this game, especially because also we're going to see her face in this game. Now, I don't know if it's going to be all the time or if it's going to only play during certain animations, but it's still cool either way to see her in this game. So she is a new addition to this game as well. Sato is also a new addition to this game, and also, I kid you not, this is the first time we can actually play as Sato when it comes to any of the global My Academia games. This is the first time. He's not in My Hero Ultra Impact, not in My Hero Ultra Rumble, not in My Academia The Strongest Hero, and not in the other two My Hero 1 Justice games, My Hero 1 Justice 1 and My Hero 1 Justice 2. This is the first time we can ever play as him. Let that sink in. That's super cool. So, yeah. Brand new character when it comes to the My Academia games, and also brand new character when it comes to the All's Justice franchise. Can't wait to play as him. Koda is also a brand new character, just like Sato. He hasn't been playable in any other My Academia games, so he is brand new when it comes to the My Academia games. And I'm super excited to play these two characters because, again, this is the first time we can actually play as them, just period, when it comes to the My Academia games, or at least the global My Academia games. So it's going to be super cool. And again, these guys are brand new to this game as well. So yeah. Oh, wow, that was super fast. Like, okay. I'm going to pause this audio, but Uraraka, we've already talked about Uraraka. This is her in Hero Costume Beta, because you can tell because of the new gauntlets, but minus the helmet. So I don't know if this is going to be her default costume, or just an alternate costume you can wear. I'm assuming this is most likely going to be in the game in some way, shape, or form, basically a Hero Costume Beta without the helmet on. But I don't know if this is going to be her default costume or if just another costume you can select for her. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we've already talked about Uraraka extensively. She could maybe get a new character variant, or they could just go in the way of updating her moveset. So we'll see. We talked about Todoroki as well extensively already. He's most likely getting a new character variant. And we've already talked about his costume. Now, I don't know if this is going to be his default costume, Phosphor Todoroki, or if he's going to have like another like default costume, and this is just like another costume you can choose for him. Either way, it's still really cool to see Phosphor Todoroki in this game. Like I said, Phosphor Todoroki is in My Hero Ultra Impact. But this is the first time we've ever seen Phosphor Todoroki when it comes to the All's Justice game series. But he's not like new to the My Academia games, but it's still really cool to see him in this game, especially because it looks super good. But yeah, most likely getting a new character variant. At bare minimum, he's getting an updated moveset. And yeah, I don't know if this is his default costume or not his default costume. It's most likely going to be a new costume in the game that you can wear, but I don't know if it's going to be the default one or just one you can select later. And then Bakugo, we've talked about him extensively. Could maybe get an updated moveset. Most likely is just going to get... Or, no, wait, no. Wait, yeah, no, I was right. I'm sorry, I just had a brain fart there. Could possibly get an updated moveset. Could also get a new character variant. Like, he's one of those characters that I think could get a new character variant, but we just haven't seen anything to confirm that he is getting a new character variant. And from the gameplay we've seen so far, because we've seen him fight in his Strafe Panzer costume. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen him fight in this exact costume already. Which I don't know if this is going to be his default costume or just like an alternate costume you can equip on him. But we've seen him fight wearing this gear. And in that gameplay segment, he had a new attack, but also an old attack. So that's why I don't know. He's like one of those characters where I'm 50-50 on, where if they're just going to update his moveset or if they're going to give him a new character variant. I want to assume that they're going to give him a new character variant. It'd be cool, especially because that would make the big three of Class 1A all have new character variants. That would make the most sense. But so far from what we've seen, it hasn't been confirmed and it's up in the air. So yeah. But again, I don't know if this is going to be his default costume or not. Like I said, we've seen Strafe Panzer in My Hero Ultra Rumble and My Hero Ultra Impact, so he's not like, or this costume isn't new when it comes to the Macadamia games, but it's new to this game series, so yeah. Oh, and now I can switch it back so we don't have to hear the audio all weird. Oop. There we go. That was such a weird way, like a weird place to pause. I was trying to pause it on this, but I didn't get the timing correct. But yeah, My Academia All's Justice. Taking a look at the key art, Toga. Like I said before, just like Todoroki, I'm like almost positive she's probably gonna get a new variant of the character, or at least at bare minimum an updated moveset. I can't see them like leaving her like the same way. Like at bare minimum, they're gonna update her moveset, but I'm like, I believe that she's probably going to get a new character variant. I'd be surprised if she didn't. All For One. This is the first time we've seen All For One in this trailer. I don't know if this is going to be a new costume. His villain costume, Beta, I think, Beta. Or if it's going to be a new variant of All For One. Like, I could see them giving him... It's kind of like Bakugo, where I think they could give him a new variant, but they could also just update his moveset. So, yeah. But that is a new costume, I believe, to all My Academia games. Like, I don't think it's in My Hero Ultra Impact, and I don't think it's in My Hero Ultra Rumble, so that's going to be cool. At bare minimum, we're getting at least a new costume for him, and most likely an updated moveset at bare minimum, if not a new variant of the character, which is super cool. Dabi, he's wearing a villain costume Delta. You can tell because of like the white hair and like the white outfit. This costume isn't new to the My Academia games. We've seen this costume in My Hero Ultra Impact. But when it comes to Dabi, well, firstly, this is a new costume to this game series. I forgot to mention that. But when it comes to Dabi, he's also a character that I can see him getting a new character variant. You know, I'm more leaning to them giving him a new character variant than them just updating his moveset. But it is possible that they could just update his moveset. So, yeah. But I'm almost positive they're probably going to give him a new character variant. And yeah, also another new costume for Shigaraki. You can tell it's a new costume for Shigaraki because this is where he kind of like I don't even know how to describe it. Like he sheds himself like it's weird. So this is a new costume for Shigaraki. This Shigaraki costume is new when it comes to the My Academia games. Like, it hasn't been in any of the other My Academia games, which is pretty neat. Like I said before, Shigaraki changes his costume so much in like the final war arc. But yeah, this is a new costume, at least in this key art. Same thing with Deku. It's him in costume Zeta, without like all like the gear shift like effects and stuff. We've seen costume Zeta in My Hero Ultra Impact, but this will be the first time we've ever seen it in like the All's Justice series. So yeah, and then we've already talked about all the Class 1A students. All Might in his like skinny form. I don't know if they're going to incorporate that somehow into this game or not. But yeah, I mean we haven't seen skinny form All Might playable in any other My Hero Academia games, so that would make this, if they somehow make it a costume, it would make it a new costume to the My Academia games. But also, this would make it a very unique variant of All Might that we've never seen before in any of the other My Academia games, let alone like the All's Justice franchise. But yeah, All Might's definitely up in the air, though. Like, I don't know if they're going to incorporate his skinny form in the game somehow, or if this is just on the key art. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted to mention that, though.
We've known each other long enough, and you should know.
Okay, going back real quick.
Each other long enough, and you should know.
So, most likely a new character variant of All Might. This is probably how they actually incorporate Skinny All Might. Actually, now I think about it, this is probably how they incorporate him. So Skinny All might become playable in the sense that it's a part of Armored All Might's like moveset, because we haven't seen Armored All Might playable in any other My Academia game. So this will be a unique variant of the character in this game, and also just a first time we've ever seen Armored All Might in the All Justice franchise, which is going to be super cool. I'm almost positive that this is not a costume, and I'm almost positive that this is not just him basically in a costume with like an updated moveset. I'm almost positive this is just a completely new variant of All Might, which is super cool, because it, like, the way Armored All Might fights compared to like the way All Might fights is completely different. That's why I think that this is a new character variant, which is super cool looking, and I can't wait to try him. So this is probably actually how they incorporate Skinny All Might, which will be super cool, because this will be the first time we've ever seen like Skinny All Might fight in any way, shape, or form. And then when it comes to All for One, this is Teenager All for One. We know this is Teenager All for One because that's the All for One that fought against Armored All Might, and this is pretty cool. Like Armored All Might, Teenage All for One fights completely different than the way All for One fights. Like, All for One fights very stationary, where Teenage All for One and all of like the other variants of Young All for One were way more mobile. So this is most likely a new variant for All for One, which is super sick. We haven't seen Teenage All for One in any other My Academia game, so this is really hype. This is a unique variant, which I'm super excited to try out as well. Or most likely a unique variant. It hasn't been 100% confirmed, but I'd be shocked if this wasn't a new variant. But yeah. And then here is the last part of the trailer, which says wishlist now. Which is super cool. I've already wishlisted it on Xbox. Now, also something else to note, it's only available so far on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Steam. So all the new gen consoles. So not PlayStation 4, not the original Xbox One. Also, Switch isn't even on here. So that's pretty interesting that it's only on like new gen consoles, which is pretty interesting. I thought I would make like a note of that as well. But yeah. So also, this here, like I said before, with all the cutscenes so far, they've all taken place during the Final War arc, and they've all been almost one-to-one recreations from the anime. This, I don't ever remember being in the anime, which makes me question if this is going to be some form of hub world. Maybe they can incorporate, like, this is like really wishful thinking, but like some form of open world kind of thing. That would be super cool. If not, maybe this is like a hub world for like just the game, which would be super cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen other fighting games like Street Fighter, for example, Street Fighter 6. In the multiplayer, they have like a kind of like a hub world before you like queue in to like play online. maybe that's what this is. I'm really hoping that some way, shape, or form they incorporate some form of open world. That'd be super cool. But this, like I said, I wanted to mention, we haven't seen this before in the Final War arc in the anime. And like I said, all the cutscenes so far have taken place during the Final War arc, and were basically one-to-one shots. I don't remember this being in the anime, so I'm almost positive that this means that this is going to be some form of like game exclusive, either cutscene or maybe something more. Also, here's a better look at Zeta Deku, or Deku wearing costume Zeta in this game without like all the gear shift effects. So yeah. Alrighty, so now we're going to be taking a look at what the producer has to say about My Hero Academia All's Justice. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the reason why we're watching the Bandai Namco Summer Showcase is because not only did they premiere the trailer, but the producer also talked about the game a bit more and showed off more footage of the game and revealed some more things about the game that weren't in the trailer. So we're going to be taking a look at what she has to say and continue to talk about what is potentially coming to My Academia All's Justice. So let's see what she has to say.
Hello everyone. 配信をご覧の皆様こんにちは。僕のヒーローアカデミア All's Justice のプロデューサー宮崎青葉です。本日ようやく皆様にゲームのお披露目ができて本当に嬉しいです。
I'm happy that you revealed this game too. I'm super excited.
最新家庭用ゲームで物語のクライマックスである最終
Alright, so I'm going to pause right here. So, like I said during the trailer breakdown, this kind of just further proves the theory that this game might only cover the Final War arc. Because she says right here, a fighting action game centered around the final battle, the climax of the original story. She doesn't specify, basically, it just sounds like she's saying that it's only going to cover the final battle, but she doesn't specify that it's only going to be the final battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's that small chance that it might cover either the entire story or the story that still needed to be covered from the last game to the final battle. Like, there is that still small chance that we might be getting more than just the final battle, but for the most part, it sounds like it's gonna be just the final battle. Like, it's not 100% confirmed that it's just the final battle, but it sounds like it's gonna be just the final battle based on what she's saying and what we've seen. So, yeah, I thought that would be just an interesting note because she does say centered around the final battle, you know?
決戦をコンセプトとした対戦アクションゲームとなります。本作ではこれまで僕のヒーローアカデミアのゲームをプレイしていただいた皆様にはもちろん、アニメを熱心にご覧になっている皆様にも新たな楽しみをお届けできるよう、物語のクライマックスである最終決戦をゲームならではの演出で
So, focusing on recreating the final battle with gameplay elements that lets players immerse themselves further into the conflict and climax of the story. Again, now that small chance keeps getting smaller and smaller that we might be getting more than just the final battle, because she literally says focusing on recreating the final battle. You know, it's not outright confirmed that it's just the final battle just yet. You know what I'm saying? She hasn't said anything this game only takes place during the final battle. You know, centered around the final battle. Okay, to me that could mean, you know, this is the main thing that the game is kind of pushing for the campaign, but there could potentially be some stuff before it. You know, like I said, there's still that small chance that we might see maybe the entire story. That's a really small chance. Or a small chance that we see from what the last game had it covered to, you know, this one, that story in between the last game and, you know, the final battle of this game. So there is still that slim chance that we might get more than just the final battle, but seeing that, you know, she said that it's centering around the final battle, which to me doesn't outright confirm 100% that it's going to just be the final battle, but it sounds like it's just going to be the final battle, but I still think there's that small chance we might get more. And on top of that, she says recreating the final battle. Again, not outright confirmed, you know, recreating the final battle. Okay, that could just be one part of the story. But for the most part, it sounds like it's just going to be the final battle with that small chance that we might get more. So I thought I mentioned that.
より深く没入できるように再現することにこだわりました。現在
So she also says that they're currently developing the game alongside the production of the anime's final season. The final season comes out in October, which is season 8. So if I had to guess when this game would come out, because basically, like she said, they are at bare minimum covering, the final battle, the final war arc. The final war arc takes place between season 7 and season 8. We're not between, but like during season 7 and season 8, like that's when the final war arc takes place, and seeing that season 7 is already out, we've gotten like a vast majority of the final war arc covered, but there's still that end of the final war arc that still needs to be covered, which will be covered in season 8. So seeing that the campaign bare minimum will cover the final battle, we like as anime viewers, I know how it ends because I've read the manga, but like if you only watch the anime, you don't know how it ends. So with that being said, seeing that they're developing the game alongside the production of the anime's final season, that makes sense because, again, bare minimum, this game covers the final war arc. They don't have the ending for it yet, so I don't see it coming out before October, because that's when season 8 comes out. So basically, if I had to guess, I think this game will come out either during season 8 or after season 8. Most likely after season 8. But there is still that chance that it might come out during season 8. You know what I'm saying? There's like a small chance for it to come out during season 8, but I think if I had to guess, it would come out after season 8. Because right now we only have a big piece of it, but we don't have the entire piece of like the final war arc, because we've only seen a majority of it covered in season 7, where the end of it needs to be covered in season 8. So I don't see them releasing the game before or like during like the early parts of season 8, because then anime only people would get spoiled because they wouldn't get to experience it through the anime. So that's why I can see it maybe coming out during season 8, like more towards like the middle or maybe like the end of like season 8, or after season 8 premieres. That's when I would guess like this game would come out, which again, keep in mind that season 8 releases in October. So yeah.
と並行してゲームの開発を進めております。アニメとは異なる表現。
She also mentions players will be able to experience a game-exclusive take on the final battle different from the anime. So, to me, what she means by that is one of two things. One, we could be getting a what-if scenario. Like, basically something so, like, different from the anime. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if this happened? Which would obviously like have a different ending from how we've seen it in the anime, because like the way she says it, she says players will be able to experience a game exclusive take on the final battle different from the anime. So that leads me to believe that we might get like a what if scenario, which would be really cool. Now I think that chance is very low, because what I think she means is that we'll be able to experience it like the final war arc, we'll be able to experience it by playing it instead of watching it, because she says players will be able to experience a game exclusive take on the final battle different from the anime. The way you experience something is going to be different, like if you play a video game compared to watching like an anime, you know what I'm saying? So I think what she means is the second thing, but what she's saying could imply we might get the first thing. You know what I'm saying? Like there's two different ways you could look at it. You could look at it as, oh, we're getting a what if scenario, which I think would be cool, but I think there's a lower chance of that actually happening, because what I think she's actually saying is that we'll be able to experience the final war arc differently from watching the anime, because we're going to be able to play as the characters and kind of like experience the final war arc by playing a video game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's most likely what she means, but it's still up for interpretation, because you can kind of interpret it like in both ways, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
ゲームならではの視点から最終決戦を体験いただけます。アニメの素晴らしいビジュアルを最大限に生かした美麗なグラ
I will say, sorry to pause on this really bright screenshot, but I will say the graphics look insanely good. Like, they look like, you look at like One Justice 2 and then you take a look at this game, like it's like night and day. Like, this game looks great.
フィックで迫力ある最終決戦をゲームで体験してください。本作にはアニメに登場
So she also says, we are happy to announce that this title will feature a huge roster of characters from the anime. So that's pretty interesting, because like, in my opinion, I think My Hero 1 Justice 2's roster was already pretty huge. Like, how many characters were on that roster? I think there was 51, if I remember correctly, which was already pretty huge. So I'm kind of interested to see how large this roster will be, because, like, My Hero Academia has, like, a lot of characters. Like, it has, like, a ton of characters. But the way they did it before, with like My Hero 1 Justice and My Hero 1 Justice 2, most of the characters, not all of them, but most of them were on the roster to tell the story of the campaign, which covered arcs from the anime. And if this game is only covering the final war arc, there's still a lot of characters that aren't in like this game series yet, that still can be added into the game. But like, if it's covering more than just the final war arc, then that really opens up the floodgates for like a ton of characters to be added. Like, prime example, Redestro wasn't a part of the final war arc. So if this game's only covering the final war arc, there's still a chance that I think Redestro will get added due to his popularity, but I think his chance would increase if the game covered more than just the final war arc. Like, say, for example, the My Villain Academia arc. You know what I'm saying? Where he was more of a prominent role in that arc. So I'm curious to see how big this roster is, because like the more information we get will definitely increase characters' odds of getting added to the roster. Because again, just because they're not a part of like the final war arc doesn't mean they're not going to get added. Like, there's still a chance for them to get added. But like I said, most of the characters that got added into My Hero 1 Justice or My Hero 1 Justice 2 were needed for the campaigns. Again, not all of them, which is why I'm saying there's still a chance for characters who weren't a part of the final war arc to get added into the game if the game only covers the final war arc. But if the game covers more than the final war arc, then that really opens the floodgates for a ton of characters. But if it just covers the final war arc, then we can kind of start limiting our selections here, because again, most of the characters would be from that arc. Not all of them, because like I said, when it comes to My Hero 1 Justice and My Hero 1 Justice 2, while a majority of the characters were added for the campaign, not all of them were. There were some outlier characters that were like added because of like popularity and, you know, so on and so on. So I thought I mentioned that, but I'm kind of curious to see how big like this roster will be. So I'm really excited to see like the full roster.
する数多くのキャラクターを実装しています。最終決戦で活躍した
Yeah, fan favorite characters who played a key role in the final battle are joining the fight, and you'll be able to use their new techniques and forms from the final battle. Again, more and more sounds like it's just going to be the final war arc, which, like I said, you know, just a couple seconds ago, a couple minutes ago, this is then going to really like limit the selections of like characters we could possibly see get added into the base roster. Obviously, on top of like the base roster, we're probably going to get DLC, which is really up in the air because DLC could just really, in reality, be anyone. But if we're talking about like the base roster, the way she says like plays a key role in the final battle, again, most likely means that we're going to be seeing characters that played, again, like she says, a key role in the final battle, like be on the base roster. So, yeah.
人気キャラクターたちが参戦し、あの時見せた新技や新形態も使用可能になります。さらに、ヒロアカ家庭
Yep, plus for the first time in My Academia console games, all students of Class 1A will be implemented. Finally. Like, this is like the biggest seller for me with this game. I mean, well, I was already going to, you know, buy this game because I love, you know, My Hero 1 Justice and My Hero 1 Justice 2. Like, they're some of my favorite fighting games, so of course I was going to buy this one, but like, this really sells it for me because I've been waiting to see Class 1A get added into like a game's roster where all of them are on like the roster. Like, I've been waiting, you know, like obviously, like I said before, Class 1A has been in other games, but not all of them. So finally getting to see all of them together on one roster, that's like a dream come true. So I'm super excited to play as all 20 of them.
栄養ゲームでは初となる遊泳高校1年 A 組生徒が全員登場することも魅力の一つです。各キャラクターユニークの個性を忠実に再現したバトルをお楽しみください。バトルシステムは
So before we talk about like the battle systems, I also want to mention the music in the background is really, really close to like the OSTs we hear in My Academia. Like this is like a nice rendition of You Say Run. And the reason why I mention this is because when it comes to like My Hero 1 Justice and like My Hero 1 Justice 2, and I think even some of like the other My Academia games like My Academia The Strongest Hero, My Hero Ultra Impact, My Hero Ultra Rumble, a lot of them have their own OSTs and they don't really like pull from like the anime's OSTs. And I really like the anime's OSTs. I'm not saying that I don't like the game's OSTs. Like those also are really good. Like I love what's the OST from My Hero Ultra Rumble? Like where you're customizing your character. Like the customization OST in that game goes so hard. I love that like OST. But what I mean is, I wonder if this game is gonna have its own OST or if it's gonna be pulling from the anime, where we're gonna get like tracks and like songs and like again just OSTs from the anime. That would be really cool. I thought I just mentioned that because I like, you know, listening into the music and it sounds like a rendition of You Say Run, which again, like I said, when it comes to the Macadamia games, especially My Hero 1 Justice, My Hero 1 Justice 2, they had their own soundtracks compared to like, or like different, I mean, from the anime. So I thought I mentioned that. I wonder if we're going to get like original game OSTs or if we're going to get like renditions of the anime OSTs in this game. Either way, I still think it's gonna be pretty cool, but I think that would be interesting if we did get like anime OSTs in the background while we're like fighting. I think that'd be really cool.
アニメファンもゲームファンもどなたでも爽快な個性アクションをお楽しみいただけるように設計されています。本作のバトルでは最大3
So here's one of the new systems. Engage intense battles where you form teams of up to 3 characters and seamlessly chain together attacks by switching between them. So this is going to be pretty cool. Basically, we're going to be having teams of 3 now where you can switch between the 3 characters, and instead of having like the old system, or potentially we might still have the old system, but it might operate in a different way, where like with the old system in My Hero 1 Justice and My Hero 1 Justice 2, we had 1 main fighter and 2 assists, where in this game it seems like we're going to have 3 main fighters, which the other 2 main fighters may act as assists. Like I said, I don't know if they're completely outright changing the original system in replacement of this new system, or if it's going to be like a blend of like the old system with the new system where we're going to get 3 main fighters, but 2 of them can still act as assist, or if it's just going to be 3 main fighters and no assist, period. You know what I'm saying? Because assists were pretty important back in the old systems of My Hero 1 Justice and My Hero 1 Justice 2, where they would be used as combo breakers, combo extenders, for guard pressure. Like, they were extremely important in that game when it came to those games' combo systems. Where in this game, I wonder if they're completely changing the system for the 3-team kind of system where you have 3 main fighters and potentially those 2 other main fighters that you select as the second and third like slots. I wonder if they'll act as like assist where you can still use them as assist, or if when you click them you're immediately going to switch and then that's like the new main fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like I wonder if we're going to have assist in this game. Which I mean, if they got rid of the assist, it seems like this new combo chain together like attacks by like switching, like basically like the switching of characters and like seamlessly connecting their attacks to chain together a combo might replace you chaining together combos with your assist. So I'm curious because again, assists were like important for more than just, you know, extending combos. They were also important for breaking combos and also applying guard pressure. So I wonder if they're going to exist in this game where they update that old system to include, again, the 3 main fighters, but like 2 of the main fighters still act as assist and can be used in this new way where you can chain together, you know, all your characters' attacks and switch between them. And then you have 3 main fighters, or if they're just going to outright do away with the assist system. So I'm kind of curious to see how this new system will actually work, and I'm actually super excited. Let me know that in the comments below who your first team of 3 will be. I already know who my first team of 3 will be. It will be Sero, Ojiro, and Sato. Yes, Team Bland. I love all 3 of those characters. I need them as a team. So, yeah, that's probably going to be one of the first teams I'm going to be practicing with. Sero, Ojiro, and Sato. Those 3. those three guys right there, that's my squad right there. But let me know down in the comments below who you guys are going to be running as your like first team. Also, another thing to notice here, in this screenshot, Deku doesn't have gear shift on. So the reason why I mentioned this is because later we're going to learn about the other new system that's going to be added into the game. So just keep a mental note of what I just said here, where he doesn't have gear shift on. I'll bring this up later when we talk about like the next system, but I just wanted to mention that he doesn't have gear shift like activated. Yeah, thought I mentioned that. But keep that as a mental note when we talk about the next system. But first, let's finish up this first system here. Those combos look sick. But yeah, as you can see, so you switch between like the three characters. So I wonder if that's going to be the new way to do combos instead of having your assist come in and like extend your combos. Like you're going to be able to switch between all three of your main fighters, and instead of having your assist extend the combos, your combo will get picked up by the next fighter you switch into. So I wonder if, again, they're going to do away with the assist system, or if they're going to kind of blend the new system with the old system where, yeah, you have three main fighters, but two of them can still act as assist if you want. So I wonder if that's going to be the case, or if they're just going to outright do away with the assist system. Also, jumping back here, I'm going to go back a couple because I want to talk about some stuff with Bakugo and Todoroki. So Bakugo here is not wearing his Strafe Panzer costume or Hero Costume Beta. He's wearing his Winter Hero costume. The difference between, obviously, Strafe Panzer and his Winter costume is, well, he's missing the Strafe Panzer cannons. So I wonder if this is going to be an alternate costume, or if this is going to be his like base costume, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe like the Strafe Panzer gear might have to do with the new system we'll talk about, you know, after the system. Like I just thought I'd bring that up because he doesn't have the Strafe Panzer gear. So this is his like winter costume. So I thought I'd bring it up. It's a different costume that we saw, or a different costume than what we saw earlier in the trailer when he had like the Strafe Panzer gear. But most of those attacks look the same. Also, I thought I keep pausing, but I also, again, I'm trying to be very thorough. I'm pretty sure all those attacks are the same from My Hero 1 Justice 2. I think they are. It's been a minute since I played that game, but most of those attacks, if not all of them, look the same as they did in My Hero 1 Justice 2, which kind of further proves the theory that we might not be getting a new variant of Bakugo. We might just be getting an updated moveset for Bakugo. So I thought I'd point that out because I'm pretty sure all of those attacks were the same from My Hero 1 Justice 2. But the same can't be said with Todoroki. I think Todoroki actually does a couple of new attacks here that I don't immediately recognize from My Hero 1 Justice 2. I got to go back and rewatch my Hero 1 Justice 2 videos covering Bakugo and Todoroki. But I'm pretty sure, unlike Bakugo, Todoroki actually has some different attacks that, like, I can't immediately recognize, but like I said, it's been a while since I played that game. Like, that move looks different, where he, like, spikes Shigaraki down with, like, the fireball. I don't immediately recognize that attack. So, I thought I mentioned that because I don't know if Todoroki, like, also is getting an updated moveset, or if this is a part of like a different variant of Todoroki's moveset. Also, I'd also like to mention here that this is Todoroki's what costume is this? It's not Alpha, Beta, Gamma. I think this is Delta, if I remember correctly. It's basically like just like how I said with Strafe Panzer Bakugo, you know, the difference between Strafe Panzer Bakugo and Winter Bakugo is just it like, you know, he's just missing the support items. The difference between, I think this is Delta Todoroki, you know, Todoroki in his Delta Hero costume, and Phosphor Todoroki is he just doesn't have Phosphor activated. So again, this all could mean a couple of different things. This could mean that this, for one, might be his default appearance instead of like Phosphor Todoroki, or this could be like the default appearance for Todoroki, and Phosphor Todoroki could be like, you know, a new variant of Todoroki. Like, those are like a couple of things it could mean, or it could have to do with the new system we're going to be talking about after this system is done with. I keep referencing this new system, but like we got to get through this first system for it kind of to make sense. So I'm kind of just like laying out some like mental notes for you guys to keep because, again, this might have to do with the next system we're going to be talking about that's going to be implemented into this game, for why he doesn't have like phosphor. Like, again, this could just be an alternate costume for Todoroki. This could also be just his default appearance, and then phosphor could be like the default appearance for the other variant of Todoroki. There's a couple of different things this could mean, but yeah, or it could be a part of the new system. Actually, she just mentions it right down here. I just didn't even realize I was paying too much attention to Todoroki. With the new rising system, you can significantly boost the power of your characters by unleashing their full potential. So this is the second system that's getting added into My Academia All's Justice. Finally, I can actually talk about it. Like I was keeping it like brief because I was waiting for her to talk about it, but I was like kind of like laying out like little mental notes for everyone to keep track of. Now I can finally talk about it. So yeah, with this new rising system, you can significantly boost the power of your character by unleashing their full potential. So as we can see here, sorry, I was just letting the gameplay right out. So as we can see here, now Deku has gear shift activated. So like I was saying, with Deku not having gear shift activated, it could possibly just be Deku hasn't like activated gear shift in his moveset. Well, I didn't say this before, but what I was implying was because Deku didn't have gear shift activated, it could have been like one of two things. One, he just didn't have the move activated. Like gear shift is just a move in gear shift Deku's moveset. Or it could have been tied to the new rising system where you need to activate rising to unlock gear shift. So basically you can kind of view it in two different ways. You can view it as gear shift could be just a part of gear shift Deku's moveset and he just didn't activate like the quirk special to turn gear shift on, or gear shift is a part of this new rising system and you have to activate the rising system to activate gear shift for gear shift Deku to actually utilize the ability. And same goes for the other two characters. Like I said before, with Bakugo, he didn't have his strafe panzer gear on. He was just in his winter hero costume. So I wonder if the strafe panzer gear is a part of Bakugo's rising system, like how Todoroki was just in hero costume Delta. He didn't have it wasn't phosphor Todoroki. I wonder if phosphor is a part of his rising system, where if you're playing as that Todoroki, you can use the rising system to activate phosphor, which then might narrow out Todoroki getting a new variant and he just might get an updated moveset. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have enough information to tell who's getting a new variant and who's not. The only characters that I'm sold on that are getting new variants is Gear Shift Deku, because Gear Shift Deku's moveset is completely different than all the other Dekus we've seen in like the game series. Like we haven't seen like for example, like base Deku, shoot style Deku, infinite 100% Deku. They didn't have Black Whip in their kits. So this already is like a new variant of Deku. Now, whether Gear Shift is a part of his base moveset or a part of this rising system is still unknown, but we at least know that this is a new variant of Deku because all the other attacks are completely different than the other three Dekus we've seen in this game series. Same thing goes with Shigaraki. I'm almost positive, just based on the footage so far, we're probably going to get two new variants of Shigaraki, being Doomsday Shigaraki, because the EMP Blast is completely different than what we've seen with Shigaraki versions 1 and Shigaraki version 2 in My Hero 1 Justice 2. Like just Shigaraki in Villain Costume Alpha and Shigaraki in like the trench coat. Like they're completely different than how this one plays, it seems like. And same thing goes with defensive form Shigaraki. He seems like he has a completely different moveset than Doomsday Shigaraki and then the other two Shigarakis I mentioned in this game series, just based on his attacks alone. So far, if I had to put a wager down, the characters we know are getting new variants are Gear Shift Deku, Doomsday Shigaraki, and Defensive Shigaraki. So, yeah. Now, the characters who I think are going to get new variants could possibly be Phosphor Todoroki. Like, again, I don't know if Phosphor Todoroki is going to be a new variant or if Phosphor, like the move itself, is going to be a part of Todoroki's kit, which is his rising system, or maybe even just like a move like how like like Deku could just maybe potentially activate Gear Shift in his moveset. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be either like Todoroki's rising system or just a part of his base moveset and it's just a quirk special he didn't activate. Or it could be like a new variant of Todoroki. Again, we don't know. We just don't have enough information. So if I had to guess, Todoroki's either getting a new variant, which is Phosphor Todoroki, or Todoroki bare minimum is getting an updated moveset, with either Phosphor being a part of his base kit that he just didn't activate the quirk special in with like the clips we've seen, or Phosphor is a part of his rising system. And then Bakugo, we might get a new character variant, or just like Todoroki, the Strafe Panzer Gear is a part of his rising system or potentially part of his moveset that he just didn't activate. So again, it's still kind of up in the air though, because we don't have enough information. But I thought I mentioned that all because again, we've seen like, again, Deku without Gear Shift activated. We've seen Bakugo without the Strafe Panzer Gear. We've seen Todoroki without Phosphor activated. So either this is all part of their rising system or potentially moves that they just didn't activate that are already part of their base moveset. But if I had to wager who's getting new variants and who's not, I think it's almost 100% confirmed we're getting a new Deku and 2 new Shigarakis, and then potentially a new Todoroki and a potentially new Bakugo. But those ones are way more uncertain because we don't have enough information, and the stuff that we're missing so far just could be either a part of their base kit that just didn't activate, like quirk specials they didn't turn on, or a part of the new rising system. So I thought I mentioned that because this is all like really interesting, like how this new rising system will work. And if the new rising system is what I'm thinking it is, where like say Gear Shift is a part of the new rising system, say Strafe Panzer is a part of the new rising system, say Foster is a part of the new rising system, I wonder how all the other characters' rising systems will work. Like for example, we saw Acid Man with Ashido. I wonder if that's going to be a part of her base kit, like as a quirk special, with her most likely new updated moveset, or if it's a part of her rising system that's unique to her. Just like, say, for example, Kirishima, we saw him in Unbreakable. I wonder if that's going to be a part of his rising system, or again, a quirk special that he can activate in his base kit, a part of his updated moveset. So I wonder. It's going to be curious because there's a couple characters where I'm like, okay, I can totally see like what their rising system could be. And then there's a couple characters where I'm like, oh, that's going to be kind of interesting. I can't wait to see what they do for their rising system because we don't have enough, for example. So I'm very curious. But yeah.
キャラクターを大幅にパワーアップすることが可能です。バトルシステムに関する
Also, the movements of Gear Shift Deku look so nice. They look so clean. Like this like over the head kind of like kick, it looks straight out of the anime. Like it looks so good, and like the after images, like oh man, I unironically can't wait to play Gear Shift Deku. Like he looks like he's gonna be a lot of fun. Oh man, he looks so good, like with his movements. Oh, I can't wait. More information about the battle system will be revealed soon, so please stay posted. So yeah, we'll probably get more information about how Rising System will work pretty soon. I mean, we will be getting more information about how Rising System will be working pretty soon because she literally just said it. But yeah, all we can do right now is speculate on how it will work. But again, we'll be getting more information soon, so that'll be good. Today we've shared a small glimpse of the amazing things we've planned for the new game Macadamia All's Justice. Like I said, she even says like small glimpse, like and notice how long this video has been. This is just a small glimpse, and look at all the stuff we can speculate and theory craft on. Like so much stuff, even though it's just a small glimpse.
僕のヒーローアカデミアオールズジャスティスの魅力のほんの一部をご紹介いたしました。これまで僕のヒーローアカデミアのゲームをプレイしていただいた皆様はもちろん、アニメを熱心にご覧込んでおりますので、ぜひお楽しみください。PlayStation、Xbox、Steam
Already added it to my wish list.
ウィッシュリストの登録もよろしくお願いします。
Again, no mention of the Switch, which is kind of interesting because the Switch 2 just came out. So I'm curious if this game will ever be added onto the Switch or not. But yeah, I already wish listed on Xbox. Super excited. Again, one of my favorite fighting games. Honestly, dare I say it, one of my favorite games. Like, you know, like I love this game series a lot. One of my favorite game series. in my personal opinion. I think like, dare I say it, I think this is part of like one of my like top games like series. Like I do like this game series a lot.
お願いいたします。最後に原作者である堀越康平先生から熱いメッセージをいただいております
Ooh,
ので、
that's cool.
こちらで締めさせていただきたいと思います。
Nice passionate
皆
message
様
from
ありが
Horikoshi.
とうございました。
But yeah, well, that's the entire showcase. That was the trailer and also the presentation afterwards. Again, small glimpse, by the way. I think they showed off a ton without revealing too much, so it allows us to at least speculate and theorycraft and just get hyped. I think this was the perfect presentation. A 10 out of 10 trailer and a 10 out of 10 presentation. Again, just enough to give us a lot to speculate on and theorycraft on, but also, and you know, again, make us excited because we're able to speculate and theorycraft on, while also revealing just a lot of stuff that's just coming to the game, you know, but it still is enough for us to speculate and theorycraft, and it like, you know, it's hype, like basically like what they showed us was hype, what we can speculate and theorycraft on is hype, like just overall, I think that makes a perfect presentation, and I think this was a 10 out of 10 trailer and 10 out of 10 presentation. But yeah, let's just see what Horikoshi has to say, because I feel like that would be like the perfect way to wrap up this video.
How was that for our first announcement, everyone? Are you ready at home to go plus ultra? Sorry for the energy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready for it. I felt the energy. I felt the energy.
Thank you to the Miyazaki-san and development team for bringing their passion to this project and to our summer showcase stage. And as Miyazaki-san mentioned, I have Mr. Kohei Horikoshi message right in front of me here. So let's read it, shall we? Hello, this is Kohei Horikoshi, the original creator of My Hero Academia.
What's up,
I'm
Horikoshi?
so happy that they're making another game now that the original manga is complete. I can't believe this is happening. In earlier games, I used Iida and Kirishima. This time,
Hey, he used Kirishima too. Kirishima wasn't like my first main, but he was definitely like one of my mains. I argue he was my second main. My first main was Kaminari. I think my second main was definitely Kirishima. I also played a lot of Iida as well. So good choices. I think they were definitely good choices by Horikoshi.
you can use all of Class 1A. So I'm already excited to see who I'll master. Also, the expressions are amazing. Everything on the screen is even more plus ultra than before.
I agree with that as well. Like I said, the graphics look insanely good. They look insanely good.
Let's all play together when it's released. Thank you, Horikoshi-san, for sharing this special message with our fans.
Yeah, thank you, Horikoshi. That was actually really, really cool. But yeah, that was the entire presentation from the Bandai Namco Summer Showcase. Overall, like I said, I can't even say this enough of how hyped I am for this game. Again, just everything they've revealed. Oh man, I'm gonna start rambling again. You guys already know how I feel about this game. I'm super hyped. I'm not gonna start rambling again. I don't even know how long this video is of me rambling. So anyway, I'm just going to wrap up the video by saying thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end if you did, or if you just kind of skimmed around. I mean, no matter how you watched this video, thank you for watching. If you guys did enjoy, please like and subscribe. That'd be really amazing. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys are excited to see a ton of All's Justice videos, because I love this game series. I love My Hero 1 Justice, My Hero 1 Justice 2. I've been playing them since day one. So I'm really excited to play this one, especially now that all 20 students from Class 1A are a part of the roster. That's just super exciting and super hyped, and I can't wait for them to reveal more information about this game, so we can continue to speculate in theorycraft, because I think that's what's part of like the excitement and hype for new game releases. Just the ability to speculate in theorycraft on how certain things are going to work, who's going to get added, like just what is the final product of the game going to look like. I just can't wait to continue to talk about this game and just to make videos when the game comes out. So again, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, please like and subscribe. That'd be really amazing. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Later.